Hi guys, welcome to my review of Hells Crossing Campground. Hells Crossing is located on the American River. It's in the Okinawan Wenatchee Forest, and it's really close to Naches, Washington. Actually, when you look at the address, it does tell you that it is in Naches. Hells Crossing is a really super cool campground. It only has 18 sites total. It has two different sections of the campground. So right on the American River, on each side of the river, it has two separate entrances to go into the campground. On the east side of the river, it has sites 1 through 10, and on the west side of the river, it has sites 11 through 18. It's really cool because the sites are really spread out, and most of the sites are right on the river. Or have access to the river. All of the 18 sites are non-electric sites. All of the sites do come with a picnic table and a fire ring, but that is about it. The campground itself has two separate vault toilets, one on each side of the river, so one on each little portion of the campground. It only has one pump water fountain. So the pump water is on the west side of the campground. So the site numbers 11 through 18 is where the water pump is. So if you are staying at the other side of the camp and you need some of that fresh water and you need to get it from the water pump, you do have to go over to the other side of the river. It is a walkable distance, but you do have to go up to the main road to go over to turn into the separate entrance to get it. But that's the only way to have access to the water pump. Now, we discovered Hells Crossing probably about 3 years ago. We love Hells Crossing. It has quickly became one of our favorite campgrounds. First time we ever discovered it, we came here and it had a first come first serve site available, and it was site number 3 was the very first one we stayed at. Site number 3 is definitely not a site I would recommend anybody to stay at. It is absolutely the smallest site at this particular campground. It is right next to site number 2 as well, so it's not the best because you are really close to your neighbors, but it does have access right to the river. It's just a really small site, so if you are staying with a lot of people, or even if you have a tent to put up, it's not the best tent site. It does not have room for a big tent. But every other site at this campground does have lots of room. These campsites are really well spaced out. They are really big campsites as well. The campground rules itself is 8 people max, just like most of these campgrounds that we stay at. But there is a lot of room. Now, if you're looking to stay with friends and you want to get 2 sites next to each other, the best 2 sites to do are site number 8 and 9. I say that because they do connect. One of them does have a pull-through driveway, and it's my favorite site. Site 9 is my favorite site to stay at. I love the actual site. That's where we're at here, and right behind me here, it does have a walk path. You go through some walks and you go right down to the river, and it's really, really cool. So that's my favorite site. Also, it's right across from the vault toilets. So again, the only kind of bathroom that this campground has is the vault toilets, and they do have them on both sides of the river. Now, out of the total of 18 sites, 12 of those sites are standard sites. 6 of those sites are tent only. When you're reserving a site here, when you're doing it on the website, if you do put in that you have an RV up to so many feet or whatever you have and you put it in, it will make sure that you're not booking those tent only sites. Now, the reason why the sites say that they are tent only is because they will have small driveways, or where the little parking pad is kind of a little farther away where you would put the tents and the fire pit and the picnic table is. We have stayed at one of those sites before, and it was fine for us because we travel in the pop-up trailer, but it will not be fine for everybody that has a pop-up, and it just kind of sucked being so far away from where the picnic table and the rest of our family staying in their tents and the fire pit was. So the prices have gone up a little bit since we have started staying here. Right now they're at $18 a night for all of their sites. If you do have an extra vehicle, it is an extra $8 a night. So you are allowed your one recreational vehicle and your tow vehicle. Those don't count as 2 separates, that's just one. But if you do have another car or a vehicle with you, that does count as an extra one, and you will have to pay that extra $8 a night for that. Some of the sites don't necessarily have room for an RV and 2 extra vehicles, so just kind of look at the pictures and be careful when you're looking through that. Our absolute favorite site is site number 9. We really like the pull-through driveway. It's the only site that has the pull through, just because of where I can angle my trailer versus where the fire pit and the picnic table and everything else is. I also really like the little walking path to the river. It's far enough away so my kids don't just get in the river on their own, but it's also really close and you have that private path. There is lots of sites that are right on the river. If you're booking with a lot of extra people, I would say that the best site to book would be sites 8 and 9 together. Those do connect, and so if you have both of those sites, it is a lot of ground and a lot of places to park your cars. Plus it does, you know, the site 9 has a pull through. Site 8 is far enough away, but it's close enough away where if you have all of it, it's a great giant big campground. So if you have a lot of tents, the best site to book is site number 13. And I say that because that site has kind of a smaller little parking pad. You can put multiple vehicles on there if you need to. But it has a huge open space for lots of tents, and it is also right on the river. But if you have an RV, not the best site for you, because of where you have to park your RV is kind of far away from where everything else is at. Another really good site at the campground is site number 10. Site number 10, again, right on the river. It's actually the furthest site in, so it feels more secluded. You're really not next to any other sites. It is one of the smaller ones, so there's not a lot of room. So if you have kids like me and they need the room to run, not necessarily the best site for you, but it is a really great site. I love the location. I love how it feels away from everybody else. You don't even have to see anybody else if you don't want to. Again, also really right on the river, so you can sit there and look at the river. And that's one of the best things about camping right next to a river, is looking at the river. I did walk through the campground for you guys to do a little video so that you can see what each side of the river looks like, so I'll throw that in here. So that is what both sides of the river look like. And as you can see, I showed you where the boat toilets are. I showed you where that hand pump is so that you kind of have an idea. I couldn't go directly into most of the campsites just because, as you could tell, people were here camping and I didn't really want to invade their privacy. So this is really going to be the best that I can get for you. No matter what site you stay at, you can get access to the river, just so you know. There is a couple sites where it's harder, where you potentially might have to walk through somebody, but if you do stay on the side that has 11 through 18, there is access close to your spot, and if it's not directly from your spot, there is a cool little trail that you can walk down to go to the river. So, and that is Hells Crossing Campground. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it gave you good information. Best things to take out of it is there's no electricity, there's no phone service, so I don't know if I told you about that, but it's absolutely no phone service out here. No, the only water on the campground is, again, that pump, that hand pump for fresh water. It has Volt toilets, but again, no running water in there. So if you don't know what Volt toilets is, you should probably know before you go camping. So Volt toilets on each side of the river. Any site you stay at, any site you pick, any site you can book is going to be a decent site. Site number 3 is the only one I would never stay at again. I wouldn't recommend anybody staying at because it is really small. As you could see in the little walkthrough that I did, it's just a tiny little site. But any other site at this campground is pretty decent. My favorites, again, are sites 8 and 9 if you're going to book together, or site 9, site number 10, and site number 13. But you cannot go wrong with any of the other sites. Beautiful campground, love being in the woods, love having access to that river right there. And I mean, you can't really beat it. Also, about 15 minutes down the road, there is a little market, or you can go get phone service in Naches, which I think sometimes to get phone service, it can take 15 to 20 minutes. But yeah, so a great little place. Like I said, quickly became one of our favorite campgrounds. We have come back here time and time again. Love it here. I would love to know your comments. If you've ever stayed here before, let me know. I know a lot of people don't know about this place, and I'm just hoping that I can reach more people so that you guys know that this campground exists and other campgrounds like this exist, and they're great to go to, and they're fun, and it doesn't have all the fuss as a lot of the bigger campgrounds go, but I prefer most of the time these smaller campgrounds because you just get to be more with nature. So if you like this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. That's super helpful when you guys do that. If you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the comments. I can answer them, especially if it's about this campsite, because I've been here quite a few times. If you have any videos that you guys want to see in the future, let me know. I will keep posting as much as I can. Any campground that we go to, if I can, I will make a review for you guys. I'm trying to get more out there. Push that notification button for me, then you can see when we have more videos coming up. I'm trying to get as much out as I can before camping season is over. If you guys want to see anything, go ahead and give me a call, and this wind's about to get crazy. So I think that's it, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.